Hi there, I'm Bonnie Adam from pathwayshealing.com, and today I'm going to tell you a little bit about my new Reiki manuals that I've just finished writing and getting ready to sell for you. You can buy these manuals in ebook format, or if you want, you can actually buy the spiral bound actual printed copy, but that would need to be shipped to you. So those options are available on my website on the shopping page, and you can just go there and see the little buy now buttons. You can pay with PayPal or credit card, whichever you like. So I'm just going to show them a little bit to you so you can see what's included in these manuals. So hopefully, you can see. This is the level 1 manual. It is 42 pages, I believe. Yeah, 42 pages. These books, I made these because I was tired of having to go to, looking for Reiki manuals that either were very expensive, and a lot of them are printed in the US, which I'm in Canada, so it's very expensive right now to get anything shipped up from the US. We have to add about at least 30% on top of the US dollar right now. So that was one of the main reasons, because I'm going to use these in my own classes. Another reason was because I would constantly be finding that the night before the Reiki class, here I am photocopying handouts, because the stuff that I want to teach, or the way that I teach, it wasn't in the books the way I wanted it to be taught, or it was in a really messed up order. Like, it wasn't in the order that I would teach a class, and the information wasn't, where I needed it to be. So I wrote these to be in a very logical, natural order, the way you would probably teach a class. So these are for teachers to teach Reiki classes. But if you're just curious about Reiki and you want to order these and read them yourself, you're welcome to do that as well. I always recommend that if possible you take a Reiki class, in person if you can, or if that's not going to work for you, do it online, or find out more, because I really believe that the more Reiki practitioners we have in the world, the better. So I don't want to put limitations on how you need to learn Reiki. These are written from my own perspective, so I do have things like my Reiki lineage in here on the one page. So that part, if it doesn't apply to you, you can just skip through that part. But here's a table of contents. So here's some of the stuff you're going to see. Welcome to Reiki, my Reiki lineage. What is Reiki? The history of Reiki, and preparing to be a Reiki practitioner, how to give a treatment. I've got lots of information in here on the chakra, the aura, the meridians. What is an attunement, and how is the person going to experience an attunement, right? That is the thing. If you order these and you're not a teacher, you're not taking a class, you're not going to become a practitioner by reading this book. You need to be attuned to Reiki by a Reiki master, just so you know that up front. The how-tos of Reiki, like, how do I do this? How do I prepare? How do I give a session? That kind of stuff. How to do self-Reiki, and how to do Reiki for others. And then I've got some tips and stuff like that, and professionalism, and intake forms. I have a sample intake form for you here, and things like insurance, and just how to protect yourself in a Reiki practice if you prepare to do a practice. Now, you can do Reiki just for personal use and for personal healing. So there's a welcome page, lots of information. There's information about the different levels of Reiki and all the different kinds of training that you can get. So there's a lot of confusion around that, and where to find. I've got links to internationally recognized websites on Reiki, so you can kind of check around and see like what should be included in my Reiki class. Information about Reiki, a simple explanation of what it is. So this little paragraph right there says, what's Reiki? Like, if I take a class and then I go out with my friends or something and they say, what did you do this, what did you learn? What's it about? So there's a simple explanation. Then there's a deeper explanation about the chi and how it works, and the ki and energy healing, stuff like that. A little bit of Japanese philosophy on Reiki and what it means. Reiki as compared to other healing modalities, stuff like that. What Reiki is not, because there's a lot of stuff that gets added into Reiki classes that's really not about Reiki. It might be about some kind of other thing that, that's okay, but it's really not part of Reiki. So I'm just trying to clarify like the basics of Reiki here. Reiki is safe for everyone, and that's explained. And how is Reiki passed on? By that attunement process we talked about, right? That some people can go through a cleansing process with Reiki, a very gentle one. Please don't worry about it. It's usually like, oh, you might get a mild headache, or you might get a little stomach upset, or feel a little tired. That's usually the worst of it. There's a little bit about the history of Reiki, very brief, because there's a million books already written on the history of Reiki, so I'm not going to spend hours and hours on that. One of the things that I always found missing in a Reiki manual was the concept of grounding, meaning, you know, being alert, aware, present, you know, not getting all spaced out because you're doing Reiki. So how to do that, because a lot of people don't cover how to do that. We talk about cleansing the space, cleansing yourself, letting go of the client's energy, that kind of stuff, or the person that you're working with, like how to let go of their energy after, or how to clear your space to have a nice, calm, quiet, nice feeling space to work in. So that's all covered. I've got exercises in here on how to open your hands and get more sensitive to the Reiki energy. Also, I've got some really nice information about the chakra system. There's a lovely picture in there. Cool. And about the meridians, the aura, and, you know, different energy concepts that you need to know to be able to work with Reiki and energy work. And then I've got information about the attunement and what you can expect there. Then I've got stuff about the 3 pillars of Reiki. This is part of the Japanese Reiki techniques that have been researched and you know, brought back to the West, so we can work with those. How to clear your hands, clear yourself, clear energy for the client when you're working with them. I've got some photos of me demonstrating a Reiki session and how that looks. There's about 7-8 pages of photos of different hand positions you can use. Information on how to scan a person's energy field, how to beam Reiki, how to work in alternative settings, because that's not often covered. Like I have this lovely massage table here. You might not have that, right? So how to work with Reiki in a chair, how to work with Reiki on a bed, and, you know, different things you can do, how to work with kids, how to work with animals, plants, stuff like that. Little sections on that. What else have I got in here? A professionalism, insurance, safety, you know, just a few little guidelines on how to start a practice if that's what you choose to do with your Reiki. So that's the level 1, and but lots and lots of resources at the back. So that's the level 1 book. I'm gonna try and get into level 2. Level 2 book, here it is. Okay, so this one, in level 2, you learn your Reiki symbols. And basically level 2 is like you're gonna learn those symbols. There are 3 different symbols, and learn a little bit about how to use those in treatment. And I'm just gonna flip, can you see? There's our symbol. Oops, I'm flipping like many pages at the same time here. So you would learn how to draw these, how to use them in treatment, sort of the philosophy behind using symbols in treatment, all that stuff. So I'm just flipping them quickly. Again, it covers, you know, as the order that if you're a teacher, it's like, oh, you're going to learn your symbols, and then what do? You give your attunement. So here's the information about the attunement again. Well, how do you practice with those symbols? That's the next page. So like I said, I'm trying to do this in a logical order that most people are going to be teaching their class. So all you have to do is flip through the pages of the book, and you'll have everything covered in your class, right? A couple more Japanese Reiki techniques, a few more advanced ones like Gyoshi-ho and Koki-ho and those kinds of things. So that means healing with the breath and with the eyes. So there are a couple little things like that that you can add to your practice and use your symbols with those. How to do distance healing. A few different methods described on how to do distance healing with your class. Different methods of sending and, you know, philosophy of those. And I include a little bit of stuff on crystal healing in the level 2 manual, because usually by that time students are starting to experiment. I've got lists of different crystals that you can use for different purposes there. And then at the end I have also, if I have time, I like to throw this into the level 2 class, as how to create a crystal healing grid. So there's a written description on how to do that in the back. And this over the crystal healing grid, you can send Reiki to more than one person at a time. So that's nice, because by the time you get to level 2, you usually got all your friends and family going, can you send me Reiki? Can you send me Reiki? And then more resources again in the back. So that's level 2. And that book is about 25 pages. And then I have the master manual. So they're all right there. This one, in the master level, basically you're learning how to attune other people. So that's the basic thing, like how to be, you know, a Reiki master, the responsibilities, what the master level is about, how you can integrate it into your life. I mean, if you choose not to teach other people, you can still use some of the methods in this book for self-help and self-wellness. It has the master symbol, that kind of stuff. I have a couple of different styles of attunement in here. So one is a very basic attunement, and one is a Tibetan Usui attunement. So that's just including a couple of extra symbols that you can learn if you choose. You don't have to. So it teaches you how to prepare yourself to give an attunement, right? And how to do the attunements with all these detailed instructions here. Attunement for level 1, attunement for level 2. And then at one there, I have little quickie kind of things with their symbols all across the bottom. So you don't have to like memorize all this stuff right at first. You have this quick little guide with the symbols all there so that you can practice, you know, at home on a teddy bear or whatever, until you get it, you know, nice and smooth. There is information on a healing attunement. So a healing attunement is what you can do for people who don't wish to learn Reiki, but they just want to experience what an attunement feels like. And an attunement can be very healing and nurturing, so that's a nice thing to know. How to do a distance attunement. And then things like class descriptions. So if you do choose to go ahead and become a teacher, I have class descriptions all laid out for you, like what should you teach in level 1, what should you teach in level 2. That's all in the back there too. So what should you do? You should, you know, include all these things in your class, and even like an outline. So say you had a class for level 1, and what should you do? Well, from 10 to 10:30 you should do this. From 10:30 to 11:30 or so you should do this. And so it lays it all out for you to give you samples of how you might structure your classes if you decide to go that way. And then there's things like class registration forms and little tips like make sure you get a deposit out of people, because you would when I first started, I didn't get a deposit for a Reiki class. You'd be surprised how many people just didn't show up. So if you get a deposit out of them, they're going to come. You know then for sure that they're going to come, and you can plan for your class that way. Little things like that I've learned over my 15 odd years of teaching and practicing Reiki. So those are the Reiki manuals, and I hope that you enjoy them. I hope that you can, and if, go to the website, use the buy now buttons to order your copy. Have a wonderful Reiki-filled day.